Hello, Captains! This is the Doctor. Welcome back to some more Star Trek Online. This video is continuing my Agents of Yesterday series. Basically, I have been doing a playthrough series in Agents of Yesterday. I've got lots of videos put up on that. I'm going to put a link up in the top right. You can check that series out, that playlist, because I've got lots of videos starting a new character and playing through that, and then getting to each point where I upgrade my new starship. Tier 2 starship, Tier 3, in the last video, the Tier 4 starship. You can also check out the Tier 4 starship review I'll put up top. Check that out. That's the last video I posted. That is the Tier 4 Gemini class. It's a cruiser, and I had a pretty negative review of that cruiser. Didn't quite like it. Not my... Even though I like cruisers, it was just a little underperforming for my likes. However, today I am bringing you the next part of this series. I do now have the Tier 5 Ranger class, and it's a battle cruiser. This is the starship I was really looking forward to getting and playing, and I can tell you straight off the bat, I am very happy with this Tier 5 Ranger class starship. So a little bit of information out of the way. First of all, you will see I am level 54 from where I left off on the last one. Was level 40, so I have come quite a bit of ways since the last video. I am much more updated now in terms of gear and in terms of skills and in terms of, well, just everything. I have been also utilizing the temporal stuff. I know people said I should do this, and I have been doing this now. The temporal transponder, if you click equip, you can actually claim the rewards as a temporal agent. You will see, look at this. Look how many temporal probes, guys. You'll be proud of this. Look how many temporal probes I have finished. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 left to go. Yeah, 9 more, and then these 2 are rewards. So I have 9 more temporal probes, guys. I mean, I am moving my way through the missioning. I don't have a lot of story ones done yet, but I'm getting there. Currently, I have just finished the Cardassian storyline. I just finished Boldly They Rode, and I will be starting the Breen Invasion next. So that's where I am in the storyline of the game. But, as you can see, I'm level 54, so I'm not that far from level 60, being an in-game, character at level 60. So I'll be level 60 well before I finish all the missions. But the point is, obviously, I want to finish them and get all the temporal agent rewards for this character and all that stuff. But I'm just going over all this just to show you where I'm at and to show you that there's going to be more progress made. Now, this video is not my end-all review on the Ranger class. I'm going to have at least 2 videos on this Ranger class today, this Tier 5 starship. The reason why is because now that I'll be able to hit level 60, I will be able to use, quote, end-game gear on this ship, which I do not have yet. I will be able to use Mark 14 ultra-rare and epic things on this ship. I will be able to use reputation gear and really build a really nice Tier 5 build, even though at level 60 I'll be able to use Tier 6 ships. In fact, I think I can use Tier 6 ships now. But I want to deck out. My goal is to deck out this Tier 5 starship as much as possible, take it to its limits, take it to the end, and see what this Tier 5 starship can do before I upgrade to the Tier 6 starships. Because I will use a Tier 5 starship, but I am telling you this, I am going to get my money's worth out of this Tier 5 Ranger class starship. You mark my words, I am getting my money's worth out of this ship. I am going to ride it all the way to 60 and then some. I am going to max this thing out, and I'm going to show you what build I'm going to go with on this ship in the future. Right now, I only have like Mark 10 gear on this thing, and it's phaser based right now, but I'm going to change that because I'm going to use reputation gear in the future once I open up all the reputations. But let's first read about the ship. because it's a Z-Store ship, and that's naturally where you would get it from. Tier 5. This is a battle cruiser, by the way, so that makes it a little bit unique. It's not just a cruiser, not like the Gemini was. This is a freaking battle cruiser, and let me tell you, it's freaking awesome. So that's what it looks like. Looks really cool. Let's read about it. The Agile Ranger class was one of the most respected battlecruisers of the 23rd century, a tactical powerhouse. The Ranger was built for combat resolution. As a result, these vessels were often deployed on the front line in conflicts with the Klingons and Romulans. A starship designed from the early years of Starfleet, the Daedalus-class science vessel... Why is it saying Daedalus class? That's weird. Look, they have an error. I just found an error. Error. I'm trying to say error. Error. There's an error. Okay, anyway. Temporal starships are capable of making subtle alterations, blah, blah, blah. So this has, you know, the same temporal molecular deconstruction beam that all the others have had. A very powerful weapon on these temporal ships. And let me tell you, this thing comes in handy on STFs. I've been playing a lot of them, and that really helps on STFs. The Temporal Battlecruiser comes equipped with the Photonic Decoy Beacon. Deploy a Photonic Decoy Beacon a short distance behind the current position. This beacon disrupts enemy sensors and gives off the same energy signature as your starship. Enemies within 5 kilometers will be lured into attacking it. Enemies that attack and damage the beacon will suffer shield damage. Have their damage resistance and shield hardness reduced. This effect can stack up to 10 times. At 10 stacks, the target will become disabled for a short time and will be unable to be disabled by the beacon for a short time. The Photonic Decoy Beacon is highly resistant to energy damage, but very susceptible to kinetic damage. This console may be equipped on the Temporal Battlecruiser, and it may be equipped in any console slot. This has plus 10 to engine power, plus 10 to weapons. It can equip dual cannons, although I think it's a little slow for the job, so I'm just going to use beams. It does have the Photonic Decoy Beacon and the molecular reconstruction, and it has 2 cruiser command abilities, shield frequency modulation, and weapon system efficiency. Pretty much all you need. Maybe the strategic maneuvering, but this has the offensive molecular deconstruction power, which actually increases your turn rate anyway, so that actually helps. So I like using the command weapon system efficiency on this ship. Let's go quickly into configuration, and I'll show you how much you can't change this thing. Customize starship. Just like all the others, there's not a whole lot. There's the Ranger class right there. You can not change, well, you can change the interior, but it's just a standard Pioneer bridge. They've never given us a unique bridge since the Pioneer class, which is a little underwhelming, considering it's a Z-Store ship you're paying for. Only one type of window. You can change the material on it based on, you know, what your character is. If you have an upgrade one, if you have a veteran skin. Type 8 skin, by the way, is what's from the Paladin class. So because I have the other 26th century starships purchased from the Z-Store, I have their template and material available. See, that's this class here. I have that template and material. I could actually fly with the ship looking like this, although it would not have any of the tier 6 powers, obviously. But anyway, there's really not much you can do here. You can change the pattern, you can change the color. That's pretty much all you're getting out of this ship. So yeah, no really... yes, I do, I'm sure. There are not really anything visually that... Grammar was bad, yes it was. There are not, let me get this straight, there are not many options, or any options, really, to change customization on this thing. You know what I'm trying to say. There's not a lot of customization options, how's that? So, it is what it is. I'm going to show you my current build. This is obviously based on a level 54 character who doesn't have a tremendous amount of resources. So it's not even upgraded to what I would want. Again, I've got an upgrade path in mind for it. So just keep that in mind, and I'll go over that in a minute. But first, let's see what I got on this thing. So right now, I've got 2 Mark 10 dual beam banks phaser, 1 single beam, 1 photon. I've got the positron deflector. I've got the efficient impulse engines. This is a mission reward, one of those early missions you can do. Efficient impulse engine. It's pretty good. It gives weapon power, shield power, and aux power to your ship. I have a hyper injection warp core that does stuff. The shield I'm using is the Riemann Advanced Prototype. This is again a mission reward. You go play Coliseum and you get this thing. I'm using this shield because it's actually a really good shield in the game when you don't have reputation gear yet. Very, very high shield capacity on it, so it works pretty good. I also have 3 Mark 10 phaser beams in the back standard. Now what you will notice here is I do have 2 reputation gear things on this ship already. I have been working the Omega reputation, you know, playing Borg STFs. So I do have the kinetic cutting beam already. This is a Mark 12 very rare cutting beam. And then I have the Mark 12 very rare universal assimilated module, which increases critical chance, crit severity, blah blah blah. It's got the 2-piece bonus that I like called the Omega Weapon Amplifier. 2.5 chance to self, applies Omega Amplifier, plus 10 current weapon power, plus 500 current weapon power resistance, plus 500 maximum weapon power resistance rating. So, you know, that's good. That's a good setup. I put that pretty much on all my ships. So that's where I started. That's pretty much all the Borg gear that I'm going to put on this thing. Other than like ground gear for my character, I'm probably not going to put any other Borg or Omega reputation gear on this ship. That's probably where it's going to stop. I've got other consoles, you know, Mark 10, EPS, Neutronium. I did put an RCS on this ship. I felt it was, I mean, it can be flown without this RCS just fine. Actually, I was fine without the RCS, let me put it that way. I didn't feel like I needed the RCS. But the problem was I had this empty engineering console slot I didn't know what to do with here. I really didn't know what to put in it, because I don't have, again, any other reputation gear open, so I can't put another console in it from a reputation yet. So I said, well, I might as well just put an RCS in there and enjoy better turn rate with it. So I did. So I did. But I didn't feel that I needed it. I just want to make that straight. I have, of course, the photonic decoy beacon we just talked about. That's part of the ship's power. I also have the M6 computer from a couple of ships back. I told you guys I really love this computer ability that it has, so I've got it on this ship. I've carried it through on every ship, so I really enjoy having it. And then I have 3 Mark 10 tactical phaser relays for power. That's it. All Mark 10 gear, but I can put Mark 14 on. So Mark 14 is the highest gear I can now have on my ship, even at level 54. Once you hit 50, actually, you can have level 14 gear. But I didn't want to upgrade any of this equipment because this is not going to be my in-game equipment. This is not going to be what I'm going to use forever. This is just what I'm using to get me to what I need to get to. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to invest a whole lot of resources in this gear here. This gear is all going away once I replace it with reputation gear. For my stations, it has Commander Engineering, so I've got Aceton Beam 3, Directed Energy Modulation, Engineering Team 2, Emergency Power to Weapons. It does have a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, so I love that. I can have my Fire at Will 3 on here, so perfect. Got my High Yield Torpedo 2 and my Torpedo Spread 1. I even have TAC Team 1 here. And then for science, I went with Photonic Officer. I've never really used this ability much in the past. I decided to use it here to reduce my Bridge Officer ability times, cooldowns, and I love that. It's really, really come in handy. And then Science Team 2 and Hazard Emitters 1. That's my basic setup right now. Not the bestest, but it's good for level 54. Now, this says I can purchase skills. I actually have all my space points spent, so I cannot spend any more space points. However, I can spend 2 more ground points, and I don't know where to put them, because I don't know what I want this character to ultimately be on the ground yet. I've got I got Weapon Expert maxed out, I've got Endurance Training maxed out, I got Kit Performance maxed out, and I got Personal Shield maxed out, but I don't know where to put the next 2. Because I just don't know where I want my character to be yet. So I'm just kind of saving those skill points till I figure it out. And then, of course, the other thing, which I just told you I'm working on a lot, is the reputation stuff. So as you can see, I have made a lot of progress here. Tier 1 in Temporal Defense. I have made Tier 2 in everything else. A couple more of these and I'll have Temporal 2 here. This one's slower because I'm not able to use one of those sponsorship tokens. Excuse me. I'm using a sponsorship token on every other one of these because I have other characters, obviously, that are maxed out in these reputations. So I'm using the sponsorship token to get double the XP when you do a daily project. So that's making these go a little faster, thank goodness. Twice as fast, in fact. So you can see I'm up to almost Tier 3 on Omega. I'm working on Tier 3 on like everything else. But the one that I'm going to go with on this one, I have decided the one that I'm going to use, and some people may disagree with this, some people may clap their hands at this, I don't know, but I've thought a lot about it, and I've decided where I want to take this character and how I want it to fight and what I want it to do. And the fact that it's an engineering character as well with a battleship cruiser kind of thing. I am going to use the Terran Task Force on this character. I am going all out Terran Task Force. I am going to utilize, of course I don't have enough things yet, I've only got 3 grav inducers. I'm going to go with all the stuff. The Terran Task Force deflector array, the impulse engine, the shield, the warp core, I think it has another space set too. It's got like a torpedo and a console and maybe a beam weapon. I am going to use all of the Terran reputation stuff on this ship and the next ship I use, the Tier 6 ship. All Terran reputation. It is a covariant shield number 1. And remember, I'm a cruiser or battle cruiser. I really do want a high capacity shield, so I like the fact that the Terran shield is a covariant shield. But I like all the bonuses you get with the Terran stuff. It has a lot of shield heal too, I think. So it actually fits really well with an engineering character. And the fact is, I've got a phaser build on another character. I've got the soul defense system on another character I'm using. I've got, you know, all these other sets that I've used before. I've used them on other characters a lot, but I have not used the Terran Task Force stuff because it's still fairly new as well. So I don't really have a high usage of it on any character yet. So this is going to be my first character where I just go all the way on the Terran Task Force. I think it'll work good. I think it'll make the Ranger class very good, and of course the Tier 6 ship, the next one I go with as well. I was thinking about using the Temporal Defense set because obviously I'm a temporal character, I'm a temporal agent, and all that. But then when I looked at the powers of the Temporal Defense set, and it really buffs science powers more, like control effects and exotic damage and all that. So the Temporal Defense set is actually a lot better on a science character than it would be on an engineer/cruiser character. So even though I wanted the Temporal Defense just based on the theme of being a temporal agent, it doesn't seem to fit what I'm going to actually be doing in terms of powers and what kind of character I am. So I ended up with the Terran Task Force as the best option here. So that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to play with. And as you can see, I got a lot of marks in it already. All those things I've opened up from the... let me close that. All the things that I've opened up from the Temporal Transponder, the Temporal Agent rewards, all those points you get, marks, I've put them all into the Terran stuff. So, yeah. That is what I will be doing, is working toward the Terran stuff on this character. So that's why I will have subsequent videos here. This will not be the last video because this is not the last build on the Ranger class. This is just my current build. But in the future, way down the road, all of this will be replaced with Terran equipment. Plus, I'm going to have to use disruptors because the Terran gear buffs disruptor damage. In fact, the beam that it comes with for the set where you get the console, the torpedo, and the beam, it is a disruptor weapon. So I am going to have to use disruptor energy type on this character. I'm going to have to switch from phaser to disruptor. And I've already started that process, by the way. You will see in my inventory here, there are green things. These green things are for a reason. I have purchased these off the exchange because they were not very expensive. And what I'm going to do is upgrade them to Mark 14. Right now you can see they're Mark 2. The reason why they're Mark 2 and very rare is because I chose them based on their modifiers. And then I can take these and upgrade these to Mark 14 and hopefully even epic. Hopefully it'll, up one on the rarity to epic, because it's only one. No, they're very rare. So it's 2 away from epic. So first I got to get to ultra rare and then bump it up to epic. But starting where I'm at right now, I have a good chance of that because I'm starting at a low mark number. But the modifiers I went with are crit D, damage, and pen. So these have good modifiers on them. And then I will gain, I know when I hit epic that I will gain accuracy / damage. That happens with all epic weapon thing modifiers. So I'm going to get I'm going to get an accuracy added to that, and I'm going to get another damage. So I'll have damage times 2 basically. So I'll have a crit D and a damage times 2 and a pen and an accuracy when I get these things to epic. Those are the modifiers I want on this ship. So that's going to be really good. So I've prepared the way basically for switching this thing over to disruptor when I'm able to. And then and then of course I got disruptor damage consoles as well. These were also not very expensive, and I can easily upgrade these to Mark 14. Those upgrade a lot easier than weapons. So that's my future goals here, is to switch this thing over to Terran and then switch everything over to disruptor energy type. So I've kind of laid the foundation for that. But that's going to be a work in progress, and I don't know how long it's going to take, so the next video may be a very long time from now. So take all this in now, because the next one you see, like I said, it may be quite a while. It's going to take a lot of time to do those upgrades. But what I want to show you now is I want to go into battle and show you what this ship is capable with my now build, because it's not terrible by any means. It's not terrible. It's very capable. I have taken this thing into STFs, and I have done very well. Oh, you know what? I should have showed you everything in space. Well, you know what? We'll do it when we get to the system. I was going to show you all my stats and everything. But we'll just go into the system. We're going to go into Japori. Now I can finally do these things. Everybody knows Japori. Good old Japori. We're going to go here and do a thing. So right off the bat, you'll see my warp speed is now 12.34, so I'm above that warp 10. That's as fast as I'm going to get pretty much, without faster means, but that's pretty good. And then I can go into slipstream. And my slipstream speed is right at 29.99. Let's just say 30. Transwarp 30. How's that? So yeah, I've got a good upgrade path for this thing, but it's just going to take time, because it does take a lot of time to grind everything you need. I'm doing the Admiralty stuff as well. I'm up to level 4 in the Federation right now. So, everything's going. I'm working on everything. It just takes time to grind. Those grav inducers are the hardest thing right now for the Terran stuff. Because if you click on Terran grav inducers, the only 2 things I can do right now at level 54 that I'm at is Assault on Terok Nor Advanced or Counterpoint Advanced. And let me tell you, trying to pug these is difficult. Not a lot of people are doing Assault on Terok Nor these days, pretty much just Counterpoint. And that's kind of saddens me, because I really enjoy Assault on Terok Nor. I wish more people would play that, because I love ground missions. That's all I can do until I hit level 60. I can't go into the Badlands yet. The Badlands is where you can get a lot of inducers. But I can't go there yet at this level, so I'm kind of very restricted on how I can earn Terran marks and grav inducers. Oh, these server not respondings just kill me. Okay, once we get into space here, I'm going to back up a bit And then we're going to take a look at my stats, and then I'm going to show you combat. So let's pull out here. Oh, those beams are kind of headed my way. Let's pull out here quite a bit. Let them fight it out. Alright, let's take a look at everything. So you will see that I am sitting at 125 weapon power, 70 shield, 66 engine, and 51 auxiliary. So not bad on the power levels for considering what level I am and, you know, my ship and all that. My current stats are a stealth detection rating of 20.73, power transfer is 270%, bonus defense is 31.7%, my hull rate is 56,189, so that's so far the highest hull that I've had on this character, so that's very nice. 97.5% a minute hull repair rate. My shield strength is also very good. Remember, I think this ship has a high shield capacity. I'm not sure, but I'm at 11,553. Not bad considering the kind of shield I'm using. Mark 10 Riemann and level 54. Almost 30% resists on everything. My crit chance is 4.4%, and my crit severity is 62.7%. Yeah, that's really low. But again, I'm not using, you know, these are damage weapons here. These don't even have crit D on them. So, yeah, and these have nothing. These are common. So, you know, I'll get my crit severity and all that up when I switch over to these disruptor weapons once I upgrade them. You know, all that will just come in time. We'll get some of those figures up. My movement, by the way, is 17.6 degrees per second. So without the RCS, 14.6. So here's what it is without the RCS. Yes, we are a battle cruiser, so it's not going to turn as fast as an escort. But that's not terrible. Now when you kick in this, which is the offensive configuration, which the ship comes with anyway, it speeds up the turn rate just a little bit there. So with that, it's very tolerable, especially if you're using beams. If you're using cannons, this would not be tolerable, but with beams, completely tolerable. But hey, I had the extra slot, so I put it in there anyway, and now it just turns like butter. I mean, that's a really nice turn rate. Very happy with that for a cruiser type of ship. I mean, that's very awesome. Again, molecular deconstruction, exactly the same as all the other ships have been. Here is the photonic decoy. I'm going to use it. You'll see it in effect when I use it. This is the M6 computer, same as I've shown previously. Everything else is just regular bridge officer powers. Okay, so let's go into battle. Let's go ahead. Let's see what the health of these guys are. Maybe I'll... You know what? I'll wait and use the photonic decoy when I have a whole bunch of enemies on the screen. I'll wait till the next group because it spawns more enemies. Turn on that.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Oh, my torpedo missed. Crazy. Okay, let's use it on this group here. There it is. There's my decoy right there. Look at it firing on them. See that? See, it totally took the heat off of me. They should become disabled, I think, if the closer they get to it or something. Or the longer it goes, they should become disabled. But I see, and that's pretty cool, huh? They're totally not firing on me. Okay, now it's gone.
Ship is under attack.
Fire at will.
Shields have failed.
M6 computer time. Okay, I'll use the molecular deconstruction beam, even though
Target shields have failed.
these guys aren't very difficult, though. Yeah. I guess I don't even really need to use it. You guys know what it does. Here, I'll use it on this guy. He'll be dead very shortly. There, he's dead. Here, I'll use the photonic decoy again. There it is. Well, there you go. So that just gives you a little bit of information on what you could expect out of the Ranger class. I do find the photonic decoy to be advantageous when there's like a lot of enemies around me, or if I've got a big boss enemy who's pounding down on me and I need to get the heat off my back, you know, like a Borg STF or something like that. I can pop that thing and that will totally take the heat off my back. So I like it for that. And of course the M6 computer is very useful. So I think both consoles there are very useful. I don't know that I would buy the ship for the photonic decoy, but it's useful that it has it. I'm finding it useful. I just wouldn't spend money just for the thing, though. That's probably all. I was trying to see if there's something else I could do here to show you this thing in combat. I mean, you know, it can do the regular patrols, of course, but we've all seen those. I guess there's really not a whole lot I can do here with it. I mean, there's not a whole lot to show you yet. I can't really... Well, I could jump in an STF, but... it's hard to find good ones these days that a lot of people are playing. Minor instabilities is ground. Meh. I don't know. I really didn't think this through too well. Let's see. I guess we can just go do something else real quick. Let's do, let's see. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunk? Let's go do the Romulans. They're fun. I think they're in Gamma Eridon, I think. Or maybe they're Karaya. They're either... No, they're in Karaya. Gamma's a different one. Oh, are they? I don't know. I forget which one they're in. They're in one of those. Oh, let's do Karaya. I think they're the Romulans. Yes, Romulans. Go into that mode. Go into that mode. Enable that. 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 Enable that.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
Whee! Having fun here. That battlecruiser went down fast. Gonna blow, I blew. I got a little too close there. I do that sometimes. Just a little too close. Come on, ship, catch up.
Ship is under attack.
I want to catch up to this warbird.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
you're going down. You're so down. Oh, guy, take one of those. You're going down. So far down. And you're gone.
Target shields have failed.
Last wave. And there we go. So a couple of things to keep in mind about, you know, where I am in terms of, you know, traits and powers and that sort of thing. Because I don't have them all set and stuff right now. I have no doffs going on. There are no doffs at all buffing my ship powers or anything, any of my bridge officer powers. So no doff set up at all right now. That's one thing holding me a little back. I have no starship traits. Obviously, this is a tier 5 starship, so I have no starship traits at all. Actually, I might have one from the reputation, but that's it. What is it? Traits. Oh, I got 2 apparently. I didn't know that. I got improved temporal insight. That one comes with the you know, the temporal agent thing. Improved temporal insight. Immunity for all. It's basically just an immunity for all damage when you hit something. Then I have a critical chance and crit damage after using an emergency powered bridge officer ability. I didn't know I had this. Critical systems? Where did this come from? Has to be from Temporal Agent. Oh, maybe critical systems is from Temporal Agent. Maybe this one's from the Delta Agent. Well, I think both of these are from the Temporal Agents anyway, because obviously I only have a tier 5 starship, so I don't have any starship traits from any other starships. So this has to be from the Temporal stuff. So, okay, I do have 2 starship traits, but they're from the Temporal stuff. They're not from, you know, other starships or whatever. And I don't have a lot of, you know, specialization skill. Where am I on? Where's my skills at? I only have 1 space specialization skill open. I've got scan for weakness. 1% chance to expose a target to torpedo exploits. So that's all I have right now on space specialization opened up. So I don't have a lot. These are ground here. So I've only got 1 space one, so nothing else is open to me right now on space stuff or on any other specialization. So obviously I'm very limited by not having all those things currently. Also, it's just a tier 5 starship. No masteries, no anything like that. Also, I've only got Mark 10 like uncommon or common gear, so you know, this thing will get better over time, but I think it's pretty decent now. I haven't had any problem playing any storyline missions. Storyline missions have been a breeze. STFs do get a little difficult. I will say Counterpoint is probably the most difficult I have with this ship, but I'm able to get through it. I've played a few of them already on this character, and I have gotten through it with a pug, matter of fact, and got my rewards. So it's possible. It's doable. But, of course, the ship will improve a lot over time. That's the whole thing I want to get across here. You know, I'm going to go with the whole Terran stuff. I'm going to take this Tier 5 starship to the limits. And I'm not going to upgrade to Tier 6 until I've exhausted my fun with this ship. I mean, seriously, I'm going to run it into the ground, and then I'm going to go to my Tier 6 starship. Because I just want to see how good this Ranger class can actually get. And I think it can get pretty good. The Tier 6 starship, by the way, that I am going to use, I've already planned this out. This is the wrong button. I am going to go with, because I already have it, and I'm going to get it or equip it in the future, is, where are you? It is this one. Paladin, yeah, that's it. Paladin. This is the Temporal Battlecruiser Tier 6 Paladin class. So far in the future, when I've exhausted my Ranger class, I will have a video on the Paladin class. But like I said, that's going to come in the future because I will have another video on this ship at least one more video on this ship before that one. But it's going to probably be a long while from now. So, because it's going to take me a lot of time to get all that Terran gear, right? And I want to upgrade everything to Mark 14 and this and that and this and that. I might make 2 videos. Like, I might upgrade everything to Terran Mark 12 default stuff as it is, see what it's like, and then do another video in the future when I upgrade it to Mark 14. I may have 2 videos on it. Anyway, point is, that's probably going to take a lot of time. So this is probably the last video you're going to see in this series for like a month or so, a month or 2. Maybe even longer, I don't know. It just depends how long it takes me to get everything. But it could be a couple of months. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, but just know it's not completely over yet. There will be more. It's just going to be a couple of months for the next Starship review that I can do on this character, because I've got to spend a lot of time grinding, and you know how that goes. I am also going to make a video probably even before I do the next ship review on this character. I'm probably going to do a video talking about my experiences. I'll do it when I hit level 60. How about that? When I hit level 60, I'll make a video talking about my experiences leveling up this temporal agent and playing the complete Agents of Yesterday from start to finish, because once I get to level 60, pretty much I will have played from start to finish Agents of Yesterday expansion, and I can talk about it, and I can give you my opinions on what I think of this expansion, or what they call a whole new faction even. But I will wait to do that till I get to 60 so I get the full experience. That makes sense? And then of course I'll have subsequent videos on this starship, and then I'll have another one even after that on the Tier 6 starship. That'll just come much, much, much later. So this character is not dead, not done. There will be more in the future, but the videos will kind of be spaced out and spread far apart. Hopefully you guys understand that. And, you know, so obviously subscribe if you want to, you know, see all those things in the future, because there's no telling when I will have those videos posted. So, you know, it'll just randomly come. Like one day, bam, there it'll be on the site. Well, I hope you all are enjoying this. Thank you all to everybody who was watching these videos and enjoying these and getting something out of it. Hopefully you're getting something and not nothing. I appreciate it. Share it with everybody. Tell the world. And that would be great. Well, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.